But isn't Pastor joining?
He is, though.
I've sent reminder to Pastor Luke.
Where am I now? Hello, man. Can you please queue up national anthem?
No, I can't. I'm in the
Is it possible?
and I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I think that's what I will. Yeah, I'll begin.
Aren't you on your laptop?
I am. I'm trying to navigate first couple of things, but I will just do national anthem because of time.
Yeah, just do national anthem. Good evening, everyone. We'll be getting started shortly. We're waiting for the guests to get to come in, and also Pastor Itwa to join us. We'll be starting in a few minutes. How is everyone doing today? I think I don't know who Zoom user is. Do we know who the Zoom user is? Have they identified themselves? Zoom user, can you please identify yourself? I'm not sure if that is the that is Mrs. Ekong. Okay, just wait for a few minutes. I'm going to send a reminder. We're running late today, but I think maybe while we're waiting, we're going to. Faya, have you heard from Mr. President? Okay. So while we're waiting, I think we can maybe start a conversation around the topic in particular, why are we here beyond representation, women in leadership, changing the political landscape in Nigeria? So maybe if anyone has women reshaping political leadership in Nigeria, why is this important? Where we are in our democracy, and Pastor Itwa has just joined. Pastor Itwa is joining us now, so he'll welcome everyone. Faye, please make Pastor Itwa co-host so that he can.
Hello, good evening.
Okay.
The Lord bless you all. The Lord keep you. The Lord strengthen you. And the Lord be with all of us in Jesus' name. It's wonderful to be here this afternoon to look at the African Leadership Group, the Nigerian Leadership Series, and the matters that we need to really take care of. And we have as our guest today somebody who is special to me and has been in the political trenches for a little while. And she has the courage to come back again and again and again to face the world of politics and the world of making a change in Nigeria. And I would like to really thank God for everything. Please confirm that our guest is on the platform from the back office.
I haven't seen her here. Let me check with, because I know she's supposed to be here. There's a Zoom user. I don't know if that's the Zoom user. Pastor Ekon, can you?
Maybe Faye or somebody should call her to check.
Yeah. Let me call her.
Okay. All right. So while we wait for her, we need to really review the political situation in Nigeria. Some things have happened over the last few weeks that we might want to take a look at. One is the Osun elections that eventually the Accord Party won, and there are lots of thoughts towards that particular election. Some people are looking at it and saying, oh, it's a champion, it's a great thing for democracy, blah, blah, blah. It shows that democracy is working. Even the presidency has made some allusions to that fact, that now we can see that this is democracy, blah, blah, blah. Others are saying that the Adelekes and the Accord Party were able to triumph and give the APC a bit of a beating. Others are saying that it is the will of the people. The Osun people voted and they protected their votes and this and that. And others are saying it's the same fingers of the same hand, that it was negotiated, it was discussed. Accord belongs to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. APC belongs to Professor Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So there was just a competition among two sons, one a stepson, one a whatever son, and decided to give it to the son that he thought, and so on and so forth. I don't know. Let me ask you, okay, from where you stand and from your perspective, maybe from the perspective of the diaspora, what are people saying and what do people think? What do you think the Osun elections represented for our democracy?
I'm so sorry, Faye had me muted and mute me. I think for the Osun state election. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
I
Okay.
can hear you.
I said for the Osun state election, I tend to look at it from more of a positive light, that it gave us Nigerians hope that our vote can count. I did hear that, okay, yeah, maybe it's two sons fighting and the father gave it to the favorite. But I think the representation of the people on the street and how they actually kept a vigil, their diligence is a strong message to all of us. And I think it's going to help us prepare for the upcoming election. So I want us to kind of focus on that. We had this debate, I think, at one of the diaspora meetings, and it was, how do we ensure that democracy continues, that and especially after the Governor Adeleke came right afterwards and endorsed Tinubu, and people felt that maybe it wasn't truly the vote of the people that counted. But I don't want us to be discouraged. I want us to be hopeful and to believe that our vote does count and that we need to really fight for the soul of Nigeria. So maybe we can take that as a positive from Osun State.
All right, very good. Our guest is on now, but before we bring her on, and Jumoke, maybe I'll be asking you to give a brief introduction of her, since I know that you know her quite well. I won't tell them how you know her, but I know that you know her very well. Let me ask another question. I also got a glimpse of the NBA conference where they brought the political leaders of, they were supposed to be the presidential candidates, and a few of them were there. Showore was there, Peter Obi was there, one or two others were there, and of course, Amechi was there representing Atiku Abubakar. I don't know why Atiku Abubakar did not show up himself, and I would not like to believe that that is a reflection of his attitude towards the public. Okay, what we wanted there were presidential candidates, but anyway, he sent his vice. Okay. Um, First of all, I want to congratulate the NBA for being able to pull that off and having that number. Yeah, I think Adewale too was there. That number of presidential hopefuls there. It means that they took the NBA conference quite seriously, because my experience with a few of these people is that they don't take debates or conversations that seriously. But I think also the nexus of the debate was to find if the opposition could find some kind of coalition. Okay, so Jumoke, I don't know, let me pick on you again and see what you think of that. I don't know if you watched it, that debate or that conversations amongst opposing parties, and what you think the outcomes were. I know what I think the outcomes were, but let me not hog the microphone and ask for your opinion. And then maybe Faye, if he had time, will also give us his opinion. And then I'll have you introduce our guest today, and then we take it from there.
Unfortunately, I did not watch the debate, but to what you said, that most of the presidential candidates were there except for this, for one, or Mr. Atiku, Alhaji Atiku, or Dr. Atiku. I think it kind of shows the seriousness um, of maybe, or the unseriousness of how we take the office of the Nigerian citizens. And I think Nigerians should pay attention to that. And it's important that we continue to amplify the voice of the Nigerian citizens and let these people know that we are the ones that employ them. When they come to vie for office, they're actually vying for a position, and we the people must vet them. So it sends a strong message if the NBA, the Nigerian Bar Association, which is a very high I can't call it the highest judicial professional in the country, if they call you to a national debate, it's important because they want you to explain or come and demonstrate to the citizens that you are a leader that can get the nation where it needs to be. So kind of not accepting that invitation or being present tells the people you don't regard them or you don't value them as your employers. That would be my opinion on that.
I don't know, Faye, did you watch that debate and do you have an opinion?
Personally, I think most of the presidential candidates were not even able to articulate what they have to offer properly to the Nigerian citizens. One in particular is Amity, who was saying that his principal, who had earlier said he will return fuel subsidy, was saying that Atiku is not going to return fuel subsidy. So they were both contradicting themselves. And Shore was just attacking the opposition. I didn't think any of them really used that platform enough to articulate what they plan to do and how they are going to do it. A proper debate session, I think, should be reorganized, if not by the NBA, but maybe by a coalition of civil society groups that can pull that on and give them proper time and so that they can articulate what they have to offer to the Nigerian citizens. But I saw a glimpse of it. Thank you.
Yeah, but also what challenged me there was that the conversation they were asking from them basically was that could they all come together and form some kind of coalition and work together to face the opposition? And I think all of them dodged the question. All of them dodged the question. All of them dodged the question, meaning that they were not willing to come together. All of them, one of them said that politics is about ambition. You must allow a man to express his ambition. Others said that unless we are sure that we are of the same ideology, blah, 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 we will not work together, blah, 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 and all that. Others said things like this and that and the other one, meaning that they were all pursuing really, really selfish ambition, and they were not looking at the big picture of what Nigeria is going through, what Nigeria needs, what Nigeria coming together as Nigerians. And that is one of the challenges of Nigeria. We're so divided. We're so divided that it's going to be difficult to make Nigeria work. You know, somebody who lived in the United States was talking to me recently as to how Nigerians tend not to unite, that Koreans come together, they unite, they build themselves up economically, they become economic powerhouses. Indians do the same, Chinese do the same, Israelis, oh, those ones are the master of all that. But to bring Nigerians together here, to unite, to engage themselves, to lend themselves money, to build themselves up economically, it's almost impossible. He was even describing to me some business chains that are now being dominated by groups of people of different nationals. Some fast food chains are being controlled by the Indians, some by the Koreans, and so on and so forth. Some electronic chains, even supermarket chains, are being controlled by different nationals in this America. But when he tried to get Nigerians to come together, they started meeting bit by bit, bit by bit. Then he says the treasurer was a Yoruba man. The assistant treasurer was an Igbo man. But whenever the treasurer was traveling, he would never leave the checkbook and whatever to the Igbo man. He would look for a Yoruba man to leave the things to. And eventually, the whole thing broke up and the various groups pulled out, and you couldn't have a united front as Nigerians. So we are really hurting ourselves. We're really hurting ourselves as Nigerians by not facing what is fundamentally our problem. And what is fundamentally our problem is our economy and the management thereof. And if we cannot all sit together around a table and agree on a system and a method like they did in America in 1780 something, when the American nation was first established about 250 years ago, the likes of George Washington and people like that, they came around the table and they agreed on the America that they saw and that they imagined and that they thought of. And they decided that this was the kind of America that they wanted. We are not able to do that, to articulate a vision for Nigeria. And this is the want to drive Nigeria. So it's a big problem. It's not even a problem of leadership now. It's a problem of the collectivity of the people and what the people do. Nonetheless, our guest is here, Pastor Mrs. Dayo Ekong. And let me ask Jumoke to give us a very brief introduction of Pastor Mrs. Dayo Ekong. Jumoke, over to you, please.
Okay, so we have her bio here. And I'm going to read her bio. Pastor Mrs. Adedayo Akin-Taylor Ekong is a Nigerian pastor, administrator, entrepreneur, philanthropist, public servant, and political leader with deep roots in Lagos State, particularly the Etiosa Federal Constituency. She's a graduate of the Ahmadu Bello University, where she earned a Bachelor of Education in Language Arts, Physiology. Tumori Ekong, her childhood sweetheart, a civil engineer who has distinguished himself in the built environment. Adedayo is a daughter of the late High Chief Akin-Taylor. She comes from a heritage of leadership and community service and has devoted significant portions of her life to serving others, developing communities, and creating opportunities for women and young Nigerians. As a cleric and community advocate, Pastor Adedayo is passionate about responsible leadership, social justice, women's participation in governance, youth empowerment, and sustainable human development. Her commitment to translating advocacy into practical impact has inspired several community-focused initiatives. Following the 2023 general election, she supported skills acquisition programs and facilitated free information technology training for more than 320 young people, equipping them with practical skills for an increasing digital economy. And I'm just going to read a little bit about her political career. Her political journey has placed her in significant positions of leadership. She served as Lagos State Chairman of the Labour Party from 2023 to 2026 and currently serves as National Vice Chairman Southwest of the Nigerian Democratic Party. So just introducing her, she is currently running as the federal constituency in the House of Representatives for the Etiosa. So welcome, Pastor Mrs. Adedayo Akin-Taylor Ekong. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Welcome, Pastor Mrs. Adedayo Akin-Taylor. The emphasis is on the Akin-Taylor Ekong. And you can see from her beautiful face that there must be some beauty in that Akin-Taylor family. And the reason why I asked Jumoke to introduce her is that she's Jumoke's older sister by a few years. And you can see that the skin tone, the nose, and the beauty runs very strong in the family. So, my dear sister, she's also my daughter in the Lord, a very strong member of Trinity House, and somebody that I'm doing my best to give all my support in this her political journey. Yeah, most welcome, my dear. God will bless you, God will strengthen you, and God will encourage you. So she and Jumoke are sisters. So you can see that even advocacy runs a bit in their family also. And I dare say some troublemaking. Amen. Praise the name of the Lord. But it is good trouble. It is good trouble. Good trouble for the sake of Nigeria. the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. Their father, to extremely handsome man. I won't say more than that. Came with the baggage that handsome and wealthy men come with here and there. Yeah. So, Dayo, talk to us. Nigeria. How are we looking at this country? How do we build Nigeria? What are your thoughts? Let me start from there, and then I will come back to how did you find yourself in politics and so on and so forth. But tell us about Nigeria. What do you think? Where are we going in Nigeria, and where is Nigeria, and why is Nigeria where it is?
Good evening, my pastor, Pastor Adedayo, the leadership of the African Leadership Group, distinguished guests, fellow participants, Nigerians joining us from home and across the world. I'm so thankful. Thank you for the opportunity to participate in Nigerian Leadership Series. I don't think I need any more introduction. I think Jumoke has done a bit of justice to it. The question is, where do I think Nigeria is going presently in terms of the political terrain, I guess?
Absolutely, the political terrain.
Thank you. So thank you, sir. I think it's important for me to start about the factors that is affecting the Nigerian political terrain. And I think I would enumerate them, the weak institution in this country right now. And also the problem that we have right now is Nigerian political system terrain in this country depends on who you know and who is who. It shouldn't be that way. I think it's important for people to be a leader, to aspire as a leader, to be able to serve the people, to be credible leaders in terms of being able to serve the people. But the institution has a lot of influence on the people and on the leaders. And the issue of corruption in this country is a very serious matter. And there's so much, not only corruption, there's so much impunity in this country concerning the leadership, those who lead, and the oppression on those who they govern. And to me, I think it's very sad. I think the issue of ego, you said something about the debate that was held a few days ago and their responses. It's important for Nigerians, if they really, really want a new Nigeria to emerge, that people should put their ego aside, come together, and do the needful. Because we're expecting that everybody will come together and collaborate in such a way that all they believe in will be put into play. But this did not happen. Also, in Nigeria, the issue of leadership and weak accountability, a lot of leaders don't think they're accountable to the people. And this is a major issue that I see in this country right now. They mismanage the economy. They are not responsive to anybody. They come in just to make money, and that is why you see them spend so much during election. It's not about how do we better the lives of the people. It is about how would I get there? I need to get there at all costs. And I think this is really sad. It shouldn't be like that. the Nigerian economy, the over-dependence on the oil that we have or natural resources it's part of the problem we have in this country. Once you hear the oil industry, everybody wants to be part of the oil industry. My principal says that it will be moving from consumption to production. Nigerians should learn to practice that. Production should be the main word where we're not only consuming, but we should be able to produce to satisfy the large population that we have in this country. I think it's very important. And another major issue that we have is the ethnic and religious bias in this country, and it has affected politics in this country. I pray that we'll be able to get over this or around it in such a way that even generations coming, because I'm more concerned about the youth, generation coming would be able to, for the youth to be able to mix. It will not be that it's about who I know, who is your godfather, the religion you belong to, or people who are competent enough to serve the people. And this is why I am really interested in being part of the change in this country. Also, we also need a situation where the citizens in this country should be able to contribute meaningfully. I think with those few points, for now, before we delve into other issues, I think these are the issues I think is affecting our political terrain and the economy of this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dayo.
Have I
Thank you.
answered your question?
Well,
I hope.
well, to some extent. I will let you off there to some extent. And one Peter Akivie seems to like your answer, so he's giving you a thumbs up. Yeah, but let me ask you two questions at the same time. Number one, how did you find yourself in politics? That's question number one. How did you find yourself in politics? Question number two derives from one or two of the things that you said, the inability of Nigerians to come together. In fact, one governor was saying the other day that his main job now as a governor was to deliver President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's his main priority. And I don't know what they mean by deliver. Deliver how? I don't understand. I can understand somebody saying that, well, I'm going to campaign aggressively for him and hope that they will vote for him. But they seem to have the impression that they can deliver people and our votes do not count. And it's a question of how much they spend or how much they influence people or how much they influence the ballot boxes and all that. And people seem to forget that the easiest way to get reelected is to govern well. That's the easiest way to get re-elected. If you are governing well, you have the opportunity to govern, you will hopefully earn the people's heart and desire, and they will vote for you. And if you have not, if you are in governance, or if you are not in governance, the easiest way to get elected is to make the appropriate promises as to how you can make things better for the people, and so on and so forth. But we seem to think that. We in Nigeria are in control of politics and we can determine the outcome of our politics. I see people saying that I delivered my ward, I delivered my polling unit, I delivered my this, I delivered my that. I don't get it. How did you get into politics? And how do we really ensure that we have a strong political force and a strong democracy in our country, Nigeria? Please answer those two questions.
Thank you. My Jumoke has already introduced me, and like she said, I'm one of the daughters out of 10 daughters of the late High Chief Gabriel Akin-Taylor. who happens
10
to be 10 daughters.
Are they all fine like this?
Yes, so
10 daughters. Wonderful.
yes, 10 daughters and 6 male.
16 only.
Yes. And my dad, my late father, was an indigenous Nigerian engineer who built his career and reputation working across Nigeria, and his significant contribution cannot be overemphasized. He believed in, I grew up understanding that a good name matters, that hard work also matters, that whatever opportunity God gives you comes with a responsibility to others. And these were the things he imbibed, and that whatever ultimately survives us is not merely what we acquire, but the lives we touch and the contribution we make. That is very, very important to me. Those lessons have remained with me and has shaped my life. And they are the reason why my journey into public leadership did not begin with election. It began with service. Service in the sense that as a student, I schooled in the North, and my relationship with other students was looking out for the vulnerable ones among us, because we had different levels or caliber of students. There were the rich, there were the, I won't use the word, they were the ones that were the vulnerable ones that were just managing. And my mom knew me as somebody who is liberal, sympathetic towards people's plight, and always looking for ways to solve and help people. That is who Dayo represents. And people who went to school with me will tell you I had been an advocate of better governance, better Nigeria, a new Nigeria, far back in '83. So it's not about coming into politics because I just want that title. It's about serving, to serve my people. I grew up in Obalende, 14 Adedayo Street to be precise. And growing up there in that environment also helped me to be sympathetic towards people and also to carry people's burden, because I saw a lot of things. But things were better then than now. And since I grew up on the island, I've had opportunity to see mothers thinking of, is it about me giving my children food or about buying drugs for them when they are sick? And this is sad, because if we had leaders that had people's interest at heart, it wouldn't be like that. It is not about becoming just a representative of candidate for House of Representatives. I have been involved in community service and charitable engagements, supporting people, widows who couldn't even afford, because I carried out a data analysis of what their needs were. And most of the widows told me that drugs, giving good health care to their children was their priority. Unfortunately, I realized that most of them didn't realize. Some of them, probably their husband died of HIV and so on. They will say, Nigerians are so ignorant. They will say, it was the witches in their village and so on. But I took it upon myself to help them I'm finding out exactly what the problem is, especially when the mother is sick, and engage them, and later started these medical outreaches that I've been having for the past 15 years. I've been helping people, giving them health insurance, and not only in Etiosa, all over. Alimosho was where I started from, and so on and so forth. So I told them it's important for people to realize that it is not about, it is not a privilege for them to have good health care. It is their rights. And until we have leaders that will take it very seriously, that the life of the people matters in this country. So I got into politics to serve my people, to show empathy towards the vulnerable people. That was how I got into politics. Actually, as a matter of fact, when I was in school, before I became the first female vice president of the student union, I didn't want to, but people said, you're always reaching out to the vulnerable people and helping them. So this, to me, was more than anything, and they insisted that I have to run. And I became the first female vice president of the student union, which up till now, nobody has attained that. So that actually brought me into politics to help my people. And Etiosa, especially, that happens to be my constituency, is not, sorry, can you see me? Okay.
Yeah.
It's gone off. Okay. So these are issues and reasons why I came into politics, to support families, to help affected people, like the issue we had recently, flooding in our constituency. It's really sad, and a lot of leaders have not been reachable. They are not visible, you know. So anything to support the vulnerable is what I believe in, and I've been doing my bits. But I realize that we cannot be complaining from outside when the real issue, or how to support people, because how many people can I help as an individual? I can't help much. But when I'm inside, I will be able to go there into the House of Rep, to be a voice, to my people, to be able to let's see the bills and whatever it takes for me to represent them very well, so that their needs can be put forward. And we now see how we'll be able to help these people. Because people in Etiosa happens to be the second largest, if I'm not wrong, and yet the commercial hub of Lagos State. But what we get is not, if you go around, I've entered Etiosa, every way in Etiosa, and I was shocked. That's what I found out. For example, Ikota Bamboo, that happens to be a high density area that people live in, but no care. For 1 year, they've not had lights. For 1 full year, they have not had lights. And I told them, we went there, we're even going back there for medical outreach this Saturday to make sure that these people get, a lot of them are sick, no money to do anything. So this is the real reason to serve my people, to see how their lives can be better by my own input in my constituency. That is the first one. So secondly, the question you asked, I should have written it down, sorry.
Okay, maybe let me ask you, you've said to serve your people. A lot of people say they want to serve their people. When they get there, they end up serving themselves, build houses everywhere, and so on and so forth, buy car, this and that. Then the other thing I was saying, and maybe we need to now jump into our topic for today, women's representation in politics. Women are supposed to be slightly more than men in Nigeria. Why haven't we produced a female president? Why do women still seem like underdogs? We haven't even gotten a female governor who ran for governorship from jump to start on her own accord. One or two have been governors by impeachment or by whatever it is, but not even for long. 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, they're out of the place, and so on and so forth. Why are women still seemingly underprivileged, underperforming? We don't have women there. What do women need to do to get themselves together and to make sure that they're able to vote? In fact, some women don't even vote for themselves. Hillary Clinton suffered that even in America, not to talk of the other lady who ran after Biden. And so on and so forth. Why is the world still like this? And what are women doing about it? And what are you going to do
Yes.
about so on and so forth? Go ahead, please.
Thank you, my pastor. Thank you for that. Like you rightly said, that women are being treated as underdog in Nigerian politics. Not because women lack the political ability, we know that, but we're living in a patriarchal setting where men dominate everything, and women acquire and retain. It's so hard for women to acquire and retain their positions based on their based on gender discrimination. I want to say this as the female, the former chairman of Labour Party in Lagos. I also had a bit, I was discriminated against, seriously, not even a bit, because we are living in a country where party leadership and informal politics network are predominantly controlled by men. They are predominantly controlled by men. And this has affected female representation at different levels. Now, if you look at what is happening right now, even right now after the primaries, how many women were able to get the tickets, were given a fair deal? Not based on that they were being gender sensitive, no, based on the capability, based on competence, based on who they are and what they are ready to do in their environment. But what we see is, for example, presently at the upper chambers, which is the Senate, we only have 4 out of 100 and something. At the lower chambers, we have about 17 out of 360. This shows you the kind of country we are right now. And it's sad because people are not looking at women, they only look at them as mobilizer, people to mobilize for them during politics, not what they can bring. They are important, but not what they can bring into the fold in terms of who they are and what they can do. I am standing tall by the grace of God without being afraid of anybody, because my father taught us that your gender should not define you, but what you are able to do or to give to the society. That is why service to me, to serve my people, is more crucial for me And anyone in Labour Party, for example, my former party, can attest to this, that even when we were left here and dry and nothing was coming forth from the national, I still stood by my people after the aftermath of the election to make sure and ensure that people are not discouraged, that yes, we tried our best under my leadership. We were able to win Lagos State, which at the beginning, let me say this, at the beginning, when I met some people and we went to solicit for help, and they looked at me, how are you, woman, in this Lagos? What makes you think that you people can?
I think she's frozen. Or are we the ones that are frozen? Okay, I think she's frozen. Okay. We'll just wait for her. You know, it's very, very germane conversation. I think she's back. Okay, you're
So
welcome.
people asked me, yes, sorry about that, it's the network. People asked me, a group of men, they were all men, they said, we don't want to waste our money, or we can't see a woman winning Lagos. And I said, you should look beyond seeing the gender. By the grace of God, we win Lagos. And with the collective collaboration of everybody, all being determined that we should have a new Nigeria, Labour Party won Lagos State for the first time since 1999. And what did I tell them? We all have to work together. Let's put our differences aside, work as a united force, and do the right thing. And that was exactly what we did. We took, under my leadership, we were able to take some certain steps. And by the grace of God, God was on our side. We won Lagos. So I think people should see beyond that. There's something important I really want to bring out from this. Do you know, at the collation center, my life was, how they got my number and so on, and my life was threatened, I do not know. But I stood firm and I challenged them because we had everything put in place. I was getting the results and I had facts and figures which I had mandated my people to do. So to me, leadership, being able to lead should not be gender-based. It is about what that person is capable of doing or effecting in the society. If I'm able to bring about positive change, I think they should look beyond a woman doing something and give that woman the chance to bring about the positive change that the people desire. Etiosa, for example, has never had a woman, and yet the place is run down as far as I'm concerned. And this is where we have commercial center and so on and so forth. This is where we have corporates, large corporate industries and so on. But a lot of them only go ply the road without going into the communities to see exactly how people are faring, until Nigerian leaders are sympathetic towards the masses instead of oppressing them, giving them exactly what they deserve. I think we would not. Nobody will say to you, my pastor, that I, Adedayo, use their money to do anything. On the contrary, I used my money to encourage people, to help the people that were injured. I made sure I used my money to help them to pay bills, hospital bills, and so on and so forth. Once we get to a state that people recognize the fact that for us to have a better economy, a better people, sound-minded people, the youth must be put into consideration, because you find a lot of youths not doing anything right now. They are on the streets, no employment. Even market women are crying. Everything. This issue of flood in Etiosa, which is my constituency, is a major problem. How can you build a coastal road and you did not even put, you are an engineer, you did not even put the issue of drainage, making sure there's an outlet for that water, the canals are not cleared, and so on and so forth. Because I've gone round, and when I went round, I really cried. Healthcare is a major issue, where I sent one of somebody working with me. I just wanted to know exactly what is going on in town. And I said, you said you are not feeling fine. Since it's not much, go to the health clinic, health center, and get some treatment and so on. I was shocked when she came back and told me that even paracetamol they did not have in our health center. How can we continue to live like this? And people are comfortable to be driving big, big cars, calling themselves senators, presidents, governors, and yet they are not taking care of the people. My passion, my desire to help my people has brought me into politics. And that is what I've been doing for over 15 years, and I will continue until we get the desired goal. So that women cannot, the issue of this stereotype mindset that women cannot handle power, it is not true. And by the grace of God, God used me to show Nigerians, to show Lagos State that women cannot handle power. It's just a myth. It's just something, is a stereotype type of thinking that is not true. So Nigerians they should look beyond the gender. Like I said, I don't want to repeat myself again, and look at the capability, the competence, and what that person has to offer. People should be scrutinized properly to see exactly if genuinely, and my antecedent speaks for me in my own case. You can tell because I am more of a grassroots person. And that is why I can go walk with the Okada, walk with the Agberos. And I'm not afraid because they know me. I pick people off the streets that have problems, that have issues.
Yeah. I want to butt in a little bit and ask you one or two questions, and then I'm going to hand over to Sonny and Jumoke and the people to come and ask you their own questions. And my question is in two or three parts. Number one, you were in Labour. Labour seems to have done well, especially in Lagos State and one or two other parts of Nigeria. How come you are no longer in Labour? What happened to Labour? And why couldn't Labour take advantage of the seeming goodwill that it had? So please note it. Why has Labour disintegrated? Why couldn't Labour piggyback on that goodwill? Number two, what is NDC going to do differently that will make sure that you can win this election either in Lagos or across Nigeria? What are you going to be able to do? Okay, and then number three, we are almost back to the same 2023 situation where you had Atiku on one side, Peter Obi on one side, Kwakwanso on one side. Maybe the only improvement is that Kwakwanso has shifted to Peter Obi's side, you know. And I kept telling people that if Atiku, Peter Obi, Kwakwanso had worked together, that election was a walkover for the three of them, because they got 14 or 15 million votes collectively to APC's 8 million or 9 million votes. So the people did not necessarily vote for APC. The people voted for other people. Okay. But the other people refused to come together to give the people an opportunity. And the APC was smart enough. Bola Tinubu was smart enough to read the politics very well and play his own politics and just make sure he got 25% in 13 states. I mean, his political strategy nobody can question it, including influencing the place with whatever resource that he could influence the place with, and cornering the key decision makers. So it was extremely strategic, while other people were being very, very into themselves. Let me use that word. So let me repeat my questions again. What happened to Labour Party? You know, what happened to Labour Party? Somebody is saying that to destroy Labour Party. Are they babies? Where were they when Tinubu was destroying them? Are they children? Did Tinubu come in there and shoot them down? Okay, use his sagacity to influence them. But are they children? They are not children. Nobody can come and say that Tinubu destroyed anything. Are we children? Don't we know what we want? Can't we this and that? So I don't know why we allow those things. Now we're back to this same thing. Peter Obi, Atiku, they're still not able to sit around a table for whatever reason. And they think that they can win an election. I mean, explain to me what is going on and what people are thinking. And then I'll hand over to Sonny and Jumoke to take the Q&A. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you, sir. Let me explain something to you concerning the Labour Party issue. First, I will say when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. What happened at the national between the leaders was what trickled down that affected Labour Party. And we tried to hold on to see if things would get better. Because I already have an ambition to run, to be more responsive to my people. I later left Labour Party when the center could not hold any longer. That was what went wrong. I don't want to go into too many stories. That was exactly what affected Labour Party. Leadership struggle, factionalization, and just like you rightly said, when people do not have a united front, it affects. And I can tell you categorically that if we had everything in place in Labour Party, the way we started, no one will be able to outdo Labour Party in this election. But that is how it is. And there were so many legal battles and so on and so forth. So, but it's sad. It affected us. But it was difficult for me to take a decision initially because I kept praying about it. Because for whatever I do, I went into NDC even before so many people knew about NDC. It was a small party, and I felt that, well, what happened in Labour Party happened. Every party has their growing pains, especially now. Even the APC has their growing pains. I'm sorry to mention names, and even ADC and all the parties. But if people are really desirous of change in this country, they will come together instead of being divided. So I pray that it's not too late for us to have that, because if we can still come together and people put their ego aside and say, okay, we're determined for a change in this country, we'll definitely get that change. So that is it. And for the second question, which is why? Oh, what makes me think I can win election? I'm sure by the grace of God Almighty, I'm going to win this election. It's so obvious. Because number one, people that I have been taking care of, they are the vulnerables on the streets, vulnerable people. I've reached out to them, not because of this election. They know me. I'm a grassroots person. I said that before now that I've always been a grassroots person, irrespective of where you come from. My people's pain is my pain. And people who are close to me know that I'm not doing this because of title. I want to be a voice for my people, and I'm not going to run on empty promises or party lines. I'm running based on results, based on the fact that I am transparent. I will make myself visible to my people, and I've always done that. They will tell you that even during the Labour Party election, you call me at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., you will get me and I will pick your call. Because when people need you and you are not there, they will lose hope. I know it is not all about picking just any call. And my track record shows that I deliver this. I am not just saying it. And with all that I have in place for my people, I think it's not a problem to me. I go and see these people without even going with any security, and yet they listen to me. I tell them about themselves, that your life can be better than this. Don't be a tool in the hands of politicians who come, give you money just for a season, and then they disappear. Vote for the right choice. Vote for the right people that will be there to make changes in your lives. And that is what I stand for. I am ready. I
It's not
know
just
my people, and I've told
you.
them.
It's not just about you and you winning the elections in Lagos. It's about NDC as a party. You're a leader in NDC, Southwest Zonal Chairperson or something like that. How is NDC going to win this election? I think, yeah,
Yes.
you know what you are doing in Lagos. But how are you, NDC, Peter Obi, Dixon, all the leadership of NDC? What are your plans? What's the party ethos? What's the party moral standing? What's the party vision? What's the party interest? I hear from time to time, we have to run election. I have to look for my money. This one has to look for their money. And what is the central party doing? In the days when we had Action Group was Action Group. The party was supreme.
Yes.
Knew what they were doing. They knew where they were going. Even Unity Party of Nigeria. I don't think we've had any other party. Today, you say you want to run an election. The first question somebody asks you is, how much money do you have? The election is not for you. It's to serve your people under the auspices of a party. If the party can't help you and support you, why do you
Okay,
need to?
thank you, sir. Mm.
So, NDC going to do to
Okay.
win this election? That's my question. How are you going to win this election? Don't waste the time of Nigerian people. Don't discourage them. Don't lead them astray. If people are not working hard to win an election, why are you offering yourselves? Why are we cannot further again? That's my question. Maybe I shouldn't be directing this question at you, but you're a leader in NDC. You need to tell me. I want to.
It's big money. Yes, thank my pastor for that. Let me say this. I know that NDC, just like any other party, had their teething problem, but by the grace of God Almighty, we're putting everything in place to win the election. Reconciliation after primaries have been effected, and we know that definitely I'm confident that the strategy to make sure that we all come together, and the fact that what people are looking for is a credible party that cares about the people. Kwakwanso and Peter Obi being our principal, I think that has also given people hope, because if you look at the other people, yes, they also have their issues in their parties. But we're putting everything in place, not through the same way, we're putting things in place. At the national, as the Southwest leader in Southwest, all the 6 states under me, Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, and Ondo, we're monitoring every one of them and ensuring that the proper thing, carrying people along to feel the pulse of the people. And there's serious grassroots mobilization. We're not just waiting for the election. The issue of finance is what we're going to the next on our agenda now, to see how we can help candidates. But I cannot tell you categorically that this is exactly where we are concerning that. But by the grace of God, in the next 1 or 2 weeks, I think we should be able to have arrived to know exactly where we stand concerning helping candidates who have the capability of winning, but they do not have the financial muscle to pull it through. So we're meeting at the national to discuss certain issues, and the things that concern Southwest, I've penciled it down, and I'm going to make it known to them. So I pray that things will get better. It's not about NDC winning because Nigerians are dissatisfied. You understand? It is not about NDC winning because Nigerians are dissatisfied. But we know that we will win if we can convert this dissatisfaction into organized political action. Whatever it takes for us to win, we're putting things in place to ensure that we win this election. That is what I have for that. I'm confident that the strategy would work at the grassroots, and the voters' trust in NDC is quite high right now. Thank you.
All right,
okay.
Sonny, please take over.
Yeah.
Well,
do you have any more questions? Mr. President, do you have any more questions? Or
I'm done.
okay.
I've stretched Dayo. I'm sorry. Okay, over to you.
Okay. Good evening, Pastor Honorable. So good to have you here. Thank you for joining us this evening. My question to you is, as a woman running for political office in Nigeria and one that has held leadership position, we hear a lot about, yes, gender discrimination, but I also want you to talk about opposition from fellow women. How much support have you gotten from women? If you can just describe your experience with working with women as well, I'd like to hear about that. Thank you.
I think Nigerian women still have a long way to go in terms of women helping women, women supporting women. You see, there's a mindset that this woman well, the men should be the ones there. But I think gradually the awareness is what we need more. Personally, I've had a lot of responses and positively from women around me that has helped to influence. I've had positive responses from even men. But women, we will keep on talking to them, telling them to believe that as a woman, I'm also coming in to help fellow women, because whatever bill is passed must, or to an extent, would favor women, because we know that for a while now that women have been underrepresented, not because they are not capable. And we are encouraging women. I was particularly happy last week, I think 2 weeks ago, I visited a community and most of the people that came out were women. I was shocked because I now realize that women are ready for a change. It's not about just staying, mobilizing alone, but they are desirous of a new Nigeria, a new community that cares about them. And what we need to do is also to encourage women, like I do some acquisition skills where I help them with whatever. They want somebody that can represent them very well. And I think if we are able to prove to them that you are also with them and you feel their plight and their pains, I think it is very important. My campaign, therefore, is asking women to support me simply because, not because I'm a woman, but because you have a woman that is capable of doing the right thing. It is not being a candidate because I'm a woman, but a woman that is ready to serve, a woman that has served the people, a woman that has served women is coming on board. And I think with that, we will get there. And then I'm very positive with what I've seen so far that women are gearing up for a change. And they said, let's the women, which means let's even see the difference. This is the time for a woman to bring about a change, for a change. Men have been doing it. What did we get? Let a woman come on board and let's see the difference. I have very strong support, and my goal is to turn that support into organized political participation. I think that, and ultimately, electoral victory. I think that answers your questions. Thank you.
Yes, I'm not going to stress you. I believe my president has already done that. So we are going to move to questions. We have a lot of hands up. And the way we usually do this is we take a group of questions together. We have quite a few hands up today. So I'm going to ask everyone to please keep your questions very succinct. And also, Honorable, if you can also group your response to them, keep it also brief so that we can take as many hands as possible. So, Mr. Chizia, we are going to ask you to unmute. Please, sir, go ahead and unmute, and then we'll take about a minute to ask your question. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you, lady. Well, I think that there's some concern about NDC. We have some rumblings, but they don't seem to be together at the top again. So what's happened to Labour Party, where they sowed the seed of discord, is about happening. Oh.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I'm hearing you.
You can hear me.
Hello, can you?
Yeah, I can rephrase that question if you can't hear him. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, but she should hear me. Is she hearing me now?
We can hear you, sir. I'm taking note of your question. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying that, the experience of Labour Party will seem to be incipient on NDC. There seem to be some issues again about the logo and so on and so forth. And when PO goes out to campaign, we don't seem cohesion. We don't seem to see all the party leaders coming out and so on and so forth. And there's this talk that, in fact, there's still plan, to draw P2B from that. I don't know how that's going to happen, because if INEC has approved him as the party leader, whether it's still possible for them to drop him along the way. I think that's the question I have. I was going to ask also about. I should stop. You want to stop? Okay.
Okay, ask your question because you. Okay, go ahead. 10 seconds.
I was going to ask about the Osun election. But actually, I think that they're trying to sell us a dummy. I think when they looked at it, they've seen the video influence and so on and so forth. And they tried to make sure they send us to look the other way, whereas they shoot for the big fish in 2027. So I think that I wanted to ask her, if really from what's happened in our show election, really, whether that gives us any real hope. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Thank you so much. Mr. Abubakar, we've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Good evening to everybody. Madam Honorable, good evening to you. My own question here is, I just want to know, please, do you have the statistical number of your voters, the potential voters that wants to vote for you? Because there is one missing link that I have noticed out of what you have said earlier, is that you said you control the grassroots, but when it comes to election is in the grassroots, and when you don't have the control of your voters in the grassroots, you are going to have problem. So how sure are you have a total number of voters that can make you win this election in your constituencies? Because what politicians means in Nigeria all the time is the strategic control of voting units. You have the voters, people are ready to vote, but because of the poor method of election we have in Nigeria, the system is corrupt, and we have so many discrepancies along the way. We might be able to have a full control of our voting system. So
Okay.
you have to go down to the constituencies, find people with correct voters card that can vote for you coming 2027 election, because it is very important.
Okay.
That is just my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wonso, please go ahead with your question or your comment. If you can keep it short, we'll really appreciate that so we can take more hands. Go ahead.
Can everyone hear me there?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I want to ask Pastor Dayo.
Go ahead with your question, sir.
Are you planning to do differently? What are you planning to do differently to win your election? Women has the highest number. They tend to be subdued by the men, which I also find it so funny when I see in the House of Representatives and Senate, I see 90%, 95% of men making laws that we are for women. And it's so funny, like, why would and deciding what happens to a woman? So what are you planning to do differently now? Then the second one is a suggestion. Maybe you have to meet your principal. Presidential election in Nigeria is being won from outside the country. Influence of United States, especially United States, can really influence an election in Nigeria. So he should also start lending hands now to Trump, start finding his way to Russia and all those people if NDC must win this election. Thank you. Then the last one, Auntie Jumoke.
No, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. You've asked quite a bit. So, Pastor
this
D.
is not a question. I'm just saying that you promised to get back to me the last time. You didn't get back to me. That's
so please call me. Sorry, so sorry. Pastor D, please go ahead and take all those 3 questions. And if you need me to repeat some of them, I can do that. Pastor Ekong, you are muted.
Sorry about that. I need the first question. I didn't
so
hear him at all.
The first question was really about...
I only heard the one he said about the issue of the principal in NDC.
Okay, so the first question
going alone to...
Are you talking about Mr. Boniface's question about lack of cohesion in NDC? Basically,
yes,
that was the summary. Yeah. he was wondering about, it seems that what happened in Labour Party is also happening in NDC, and if you can speak about that seemingly lack of cohesion in NDC and how that is going to be addressed.
Concerning the Labour Party issue, the lack of cohesion concerning PO moving around, is that what he asked? Because I
That's
didn't really get
basically
that.
the summary, that it seems there's lack of cohesion in NDC at the moment, and
Okay,
it seems like it's a repeat
now
of what happened in Labour Party.
between the leaders and the PO. Definitely, let me tell you, let me say this, that the NDC at the moment, concerning the propaganda going on that they're going to get rid of Peter Obi, it's a lie. It's a lie. I want to also say this categorically, that every party has its own issue, and probably NDC has its own teething problems right now, but that doesn't define what NDC stands for. I know that at the national, I can say this categorically and tell you for sure that things are being put in place. We know that the flag of they are not organized because we have some litigation, legal issues in court concerning the primaries, and what they're trying to do is to have a united front, where everybody would be appeased to drop whatever legal battles or legal litigation they have, so that we all can be working together. And to God be the glory, things are working better now, because some people who are aggrieved have been able to be they appeal to them to drop these legal issues, and for them to come on board. Let's work with the principal. And as of today, very cheering news that a lot of them have agreed, though some are still in court, but they're looking into it to make sure that everything is sorted out before we now launch out. Because you see, I keep telling people, you cannot go to sleep when your house is on fire. So we need to quench that fire before we will now say we're launching out. That is what I have to say. But things are being looked into, and we're trying to resolve these issues. That is that. You said, what am I? I think the second person asked, how are you sure that you have the statistical numbers of the voters at the grassroots? Let me say this for sure. Yes, I have a massive grassroots presence. We have a very strong grassroots. And because people are tired, especially in Etiosa, of what is going on, they have tried different people, and they know my antecedent, that I do not quit, and I am I make sure that I ensure that we get everything done properly, and I'm a result-oriented person. So we're doing everything within our reach, and we're getting positive responses from people. And not only this, we are also building our structure. Let me tell you, we have our structure in place. Don't forget that I was the party chairman of Labour Party. We have structure with all the people that came on board into NDC. We're putting things in place, but there are certain things I will not say here. I'm sorry. I would rather not say, but we're engaging our supporters and the constituency to find out what they feel. So I think that is more than enough, and we're getting massive support. Massive. When I mean massive support, strong local structures and community level mobilization. it's ongoing. So I'm very positive. I'm very sure, by the grace of God, not by my power, that surely that greenhouse, I'm getting there. Thank you.
Amen to that. So the last
Yes, we are
question
getting
was,
there.
what are you planning to do differently with the election? That was the last question. And the gentleman also spoke about the House is dominated by male, probably about 90-something% male. So, well, I mean, that was more of a comment. But what are you trying to do differently to win this election? Did you get that question?
Thank you for that question. Yes, yes. I'm not going to do the same old things and expecting different results. Definitely. We're going to do things differently, especially for my own election in Etiosa. My one, we're going to be targeting to make sure that the process is done properly. I'm looking at activating all the wards, engagements, and making sure that everybody, the youths, you see, I've always been a youth person in terms of encouraging and mobilizing the youths. And I can tell you for sure that a lot of youths are with me, a lot of youths. And we're going to make sure that we're doing the issue of security, we're handling it, but it's not something I can discuss here. And we are going to ensure that we protect our votes, because one of the major areas that people were able to commit so much atrocity in the last election in Nigeria, the way they do it, is about not ensuring that they protect their votes. And I'm somebody that listens to the people, and I'm accountable to them. I told them something, and a lot of them believe me. Let me say this: in my moving around and locally to the grassroots, one thing I told them, I said, it is not about me doing it. Everybody, every stakeholder in that community will be responsible in ensuring that the need of that community is met by me doing what I have to do in influencing, passing bills that will influence and help us in Etiosa. And it is now left for the people to make sure that whatever we embark upon, we carry it out for yourself, not for me. Because whatever we're doing is going to be for you. And also, I believe that accountability is very key. Any leader that is accountable and visible to the people would respect you. And then this woman-to-woman reach is very, very important. So at the end of the day, I believe that I'll be doing something different. But you see, I am sorry, I would not be able to reel out everything that we're doing that will ensure security or securing our votes here. I cannot. But every other thing that we need to do and do differently, I will do by the grace of God.
Thank you. So we have about 7 more hands up, and we are
everything that matters actually is not about noise, it's about impacts. It's about impacts, impacting the environment and impacting the people to make sure that we do the right thing together. Is a collective responsibility. It is not about me. I'm just there to represent them. But at the end of the day, they will be the beneficiary. The community will be the beneficiary of whatever I represent. But I will make sure that I'm the voice of the people. And they already know that, because everything within my power I'm doing to make sure that I carry my people along and they know that I am there to represent them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have 7 more hands up. So if we can take those, and if you can just maybe like keep your responses also brief so we can take all the hands, we would
30
appreciate that.
seconds.
Okay. Auntie Love, go ahead, Auntie Tolu, Chief Igodalo, go ahead, ma, with your question. We've asked you to unmute.
All right. Good evening, Pastor Dayo and our woman leader. Good evening, PI. Good evening, Jumoke. Good evening, everybody on ALG. My question, I don't know if I will call it a question. It's not really a question. Is that from what we see from the constituency, I don't see a single party being able to actually successfully oust APC. I see it as something in which there needs to be a coalition. We are up against a formidable enemy, a formidable competitor. I see a coalition. I don't see a Peter Obi being able to carry 2/3. I see a coalition of Seyi Makinde and Peter Obi, perhaps, and Kwakanso. But split up the way they are, we are in for a losing game. That is the fact. Look at the numbers. It's not going to work. Because this party is not about a level playing field. It's not about voting and electing properly or conducting a proper election. It is about a stealing of votes. We have all seen it. So I think we should stop putting our heads in the sand and really face it as a mighty battle for the soul of this country. And it is not going to be won by one party, NDC, ACD, this other one. You have to come together. You really have to come together. A Seyi Makinde is a better candidate than a Peter Obi. He will carry more votes. A Peter Obi is not going to carry 2/3. A Seyi Makinde will struggle also. I don't know who else is in the offing, but those are the two that stand out. And you need to approach people like Nasiru El Rufai. You know, we need to bridge the gap. We need to form a coalition of everybody against one person. If we don't do that, it's a lost game already. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. So that was a comment, really not a question. So may I have Bade Kairos, please go ahead, unmute and ask your question. We've asked you to unmute. Bade Kairos, and then we'll take Charles, and then we'll take the last set of hands. I'm so sorry, we're not going to be able to take any more hands after these ones that are up. Go ahead, Bade. Yes.
Thank you very much. Pastor D, the Lord bless you. And what I want to say is that because I've known you, I know you, I know you can deliver, I know your competence, but I want to say something just like the last speaker said. If there's any way there can be coalition, because we know APC in Lagos, we know them. And what played out for Labour Party in the last election was the result of NSAS. People were angry, and that is exactly what played out. But this time around, it's only through coalition that we can defeat the oppressor here in Lagos. So just as the last speaker said, it is important to have that coalition. That's number one. Number two, and although you've answered the question that how do you want to mitigate against thuggery, against rigging, I believe you have your security, you have your something in place. But my prayer is that every one of us here, I don't know if we have our PVC, it's very, very important. Let us go and get our PVC and vote our conscience. I know God is about to do something. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. So we are going to take 2 more hands because those were mostly comments, not questions. Go ahead, Dr. Obin, with your question, and then we'll take Bobby. We'll take Brother Dominic. We'll take Professor Grange. We'll take Samuel, Adekunle, and Henrietta. And those are the only hands we'll be taking this evening. So go ahead, Charles, Dr. Charles.
Okay, so I'm going to mostly more of a comment than a question. Pastor Dyer, Honorable Pastor Dyer, congratulations. Good to have you here today. I salute your courage, salute your determination, and everything that you bring to bear. I think Pastor Itra was right. He asked you a question, and then he said, "No, I shouldn't be asking you that question. I think I should ask that question to maybe somebody at the presidential level of NDC." They say all politics is local, and it sounds like you know exactly what you want to do. You know what you need to do, and again, I salute you. Our prayers are with you. I even dropped a note there. Say you are the Golda Mayor of Lagos. And, there was a time, American politics, we all watch American politics and democracy. It took a long time for women to finally wake up. And the last president of the US before the current one was the head of the judiciary at that time. Everybody remembers, most people remember, that Anita Hill was grilled by the Judiciary Committee during the appointment of Thomas. And obviously, that was the year women woke up. I think the year was around 1992. That was the first election of Bill Clinton to be president. That was called the year of the women in American politics because that year the women were angry, they were mad, they were determined, and they elected a bunch of women to Congress. California took many of them. That was when the last Speaker of the House, what's her name now? Anyway, that was when she won her seat. Several of them came from California. So I'm hoping that this is part of the time that a lot of Nigerian women will wake up and say, no, we want to have women in different places in Nigerian politics. If we are good enough to be women leaders, we can be governors, we can be senators, we can be House of Rep members. So I hope that people like you and Natasha can become the face of women in Nigerian politics. And that will balance out the nonsense that we see today, the abuse that we see, the marginalization that we see. I wish you the very best, and I pray that you win your seat.
Thank you so much. May I have, these were mostly comments, so I'm going to ask Bobby to add his own comments or questions, and then you can take all those together, and then we'll take the last sets. Go ahead, Bobby, we've asked you to unmute.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much for having me. And I'll try and be really brief and to the point with my question, as controversial as it might sound. Looking at Nigeria from outside of the country, it leaves most of us really, really disturbed. I see a country that is too big to manage. I see a country that was deliberately designed to be too big to manage. And my question to the honorable guest is, don't you think we've got to that point that the Nigerian issue is not a man-woman issue? It's not about all these things that are really Western propagated ideas. It's about not having a singularity of purpose. And don't you think that we've come to that point where we need to rip up the form book? I don't know how realistic that would be. Rip up the form book and look at regionalization for a group of people to create regions for the people, by the people, with a singular purpose within each region, which they have anyway, but because they're all together, they can't reach a common consensus. And hopefully, with each region thriving, they can then come together in a central way, or inputting to a central pot that diversifies to each of them, rather than the other way around.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So these were mostly comments. I don't know if you want to take like a minute to speak to the comments, and then we take the next set.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to take the first comment and the second comment. I think it's almost the same thing. The issue of coalition. And I quite agree with you. and with all sincerity and honesty, that the only thing to achieve results, I'm not talking of individual basis now, I'm talking of as Nigeria as a whole, is for us to have a coalition where people, the leaders, the different party leaders and the principals will come together and agree. You see, the problem we have in Nigeria, I must be honest, is that it's an ego trip. Everybody thinking that they are bigger than, you see, but if you really want to win, you have to remove that and humbly accept whatever would help in ensuring that we have a Nigeria that is suitable for all Nigerians. So until we get there, but I know that this thing is ongoing, negotiation and whatever, talks is ongoing, and I'm hoping for the sake of the vulnerable that people will put their ego or whatever aside and say, okay, for Nigeria's sake, this I'm going to leave this for us to have a united front, because it is only with a united front we can win this coming election. And by the grace of God, we did it in Lagos, but now we're talking of Nigeria, because what concerns us is about Nigeria, and without doing the right thing, we might not achieve the result. But discussions have been, there is ongoing and negotiation, and I'm hopeful that at the end of the day, we'll get some positive response where people would be able to put their this thing aside and agree to step down for each other and look at the best candidates to be the president and the best person to be the vice president. So that is for that. The issue of Togri, I've told my people and I've told people at the grassroots, we're not going to leave that polling unit until everything is secured, and we're going to follow the people's votes to the collation center. They would use, whether there's glitch or not, they would make sure we will stand there and they will do the right thing. Nobody's leaving that place. And let me be honest with you, people, the youths especially, they are ready to do that. And definitely, by the grace of God, come January 2027, concerning this country, we're going to get a shocker. Thank you. So the issue of so you talked about the last question, that Nigeria is too big. I don't believe that Nigeria is too big to manage. US is not too big to manage. Why should Nigeria be too big to manage? I believe the problem is not the size of Nigeria, but the quality and structure of governance in this country. We are a country of over 200 million people and 36 states, just 36 states, you know? So at the end of the day, we have the issue I think we should be a bit worried about is the ethnic and religious problems, but not that Nigeria is too big. You see, when a Nigerian, if you ask people, I don't know Hausa, I don't know Igbo, I don't know Yoruba, I see you as somebody who is ready to work and I can work with you. If you are not ready to do the right thing, I cannot work with you. But when people put ethnic sentiments, bigotry, rhetorics and whatever, it makes it very difficult. And we will continue to talk to people. Don't see me as a stranger. See me as somebody that wants to work for the good of this country. And definitely, we will get there. it is not about Nigeria thinking that Nigerians thinking that one person can solve the problem. We need a system where good people at every level can do their job and we all come together, where failure has consequences. You see, a lot of people keep on doing the same thing because there are no consequences. The moment we make sure there are consequences for everything you do, then we are moving forward in the right direction. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We are going to take the other hands up. Again, please keep it brief. We have Professor Grange. Go ahead, Ma, with your questions, and then we'll take Mr. Olusegun Samuel. We'll take Mr. Adekunle, and the last hand would be Miss Chinenye Henrietta Oli. Please go ahead, Ma, with your question.
Yes, thank you, Jumoke, for sharing your sister with us this afternoon. We've been really treated to a fantastic presentation. Thank you very much, Pastor D. Listen,
Thank you, sir.
I see that you really have the correct attitude and plan to get into that position which you are after. The problem, by the way, I also belong to Etiosa. My residence is in Etiosa, so I am going to see how I can link up with you and really assist.
Thank you.
So the question to me is, for me, is this: having got in there as a representative, I see that the next thing is to find out how you can make an impact in your constituency. And your constituency includes the state and local governments, and even the bigger picture, the federal. But we, as civil societies, we have decided that we have to start with the local government. You must have a plan for a local government. I hope you do, because I'm in your local government. But you are going to meet with other leaders in the local government. The Senate it will have a representative in the local government. Then there is the chairman of the local government. And then the Senate at the federal level and the legislature at the state level. So that's 4 leaders in the local government. And all of you may belong to different parties. So how do you think that you can all work together so that that local government does not suffer from the differences in ideology that you party leaders may have? That is my question.
Thank you.
It is the Constitution that has made it like this. What can we do to abolish that problem? Okay, with people like you know exactly what you want to do for your constituency. Others do too. Then there's the chairman, local government chairman, who has the money for his constituency. I'm worried about this because I have tried once to get a passport at the local government level, and it was not funny.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma. So I think she has that. We'll take Mr. Olusegun Samuel. Please go ahead with your question. And Mr. Adekunle, please get ready. And Henrietta, those are the last 4. Pastor Dayo, I will take note of them. And then you can address all of them together with your closing remark. Go ahead, Mr. Samuel.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, God bless you all. I love what Prof just said now, and that is just my question as well. And my question goes thus: what are the structures put in place to actually measure against the opponent's ability? What regarding how to ensure they do not go on to, manipulate against our efforts and labor when it comes to the election time. Because one thing we know that is common and peculiar to election is that during those elections, people coming out with money to buy the understanding of people, to buy the attention of people, just with little money, just with little things like small bits like that. So are there structure put in place to ensure that such does not suffer, and are there structure to actually measure against the strength and the ability of these opponents at the grassroots in order to ensure that the effort work it and don't go down the drain?
Okay, thank you. Can we have Mr.
Sorry, I
Adekunle,
didn't get
please?
that.
I think I'm going to ask him to put his question in the chat room because he was breaking. Mr. Samuel, please, can you put your question in the chat? Summarize it, please. We're going to ask Mr. Adekunle to please ask his question.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. And thank you for this opportunity for me to air my opinion. And my question will be so straightforward. And you see, last time I was in Nigeria, I attended a party of a very old friend. And in the evening time after party, they brought in about 4 buses full of our young ladies from a particular university I don't want to mention. So my question to you, that night I was not happy because I'm a father of 2 beautiful daughters. So I was not happy, and I was discussing with a friend, and he said, "Oh, that is the order of the day in Nigeria of today, that most of our young ladies are on the street." So my question to you, ma, is that please, with all these our young ladies on the street, I know it is due to poverty, on high level of unemployment and even family hardship. So if you are elected, please, what concrete program will you introduce to rescue these our young girls? What program do you have in place to rehabilitate them, equip them with skills, and help them to become financially independent? Because the numbers of our young ladies on the street is just too alarming and it's worrisome. Somebody like me, I wasn't happy about this, so I've been looking for somebody, especially a woman, that will be in the position of authority to be able to do something meaningful for these young girls on the streets. Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question that is at the heart of many women in this country. I'm going to take the last hand, and Pastor D, Miss Henrietta Only, please go ahead with your question.
No, it's going on.
We can hear you. Can you unmute, Henrietta? Henrietta, can you unmute, please? We've asked you to unmute. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Good evening, madam. It's heartwarming to see a woman so passionate about her gender. But then I don't know how politicians view this thing. We see, I'm sorry to say, this is not to discourage you, but people see a candidate that doesn't stand a chance. I'm not directing it at you. Everybody sees that you don't have a chance. But most of these candidates still remain there. Okay, let me elaborate. Now, I just came back this evening, late this afternoon, from Ogun State. I drove through your constituency because I live in your constituency, round, and went through the mainland back to Etiosa local government. And there was not, I saw only one little poster of NDC. And that's a P2B's party. And I was wondering, what chance does he have in Lagos and Ogun? Everywhere was about APC. All the billboards were about APC. And people take decisions with their eyes first. I mean, in branding, so I know people take decisions with their eyes first, before they feel. There was nothing about NDC. And then The second part of my question is the fact that before people talk, they refer to Obi as a failure. Is it the only party? Is it the only candidate, presidential candidate in Nigeria? Since that 2023 election, it has been the topic. And I keep asking, even among intellectuals, before you mention anything about politics, somebody has pointed a finger at him that he's a failure. He doesn't stand a chance. Why not talk about others? The fact is that people are selling him with all this negativity. That is what they don't understand. And I try to point it out to them. You are just selling him with all this negativity. So those are my questions. And then last one, an observation. In 2023, I went to vote and I voted very well. I voted normally, but my son went to another polling unit to go and vote, and they waited till 5 o'clock. Nobody came. INEC people did not turn up. Even CNN was there. CNN was reporting that there was no INEC person there. But by the time the results came out, that place was represented with numbers. Of course, we know who won. And it was it. There was nothing anybody could do about it. And then how would you deal with betrayals in politics? In 2022, there was a very senior, should I call him National Director General of a foremost party. He did everything, he campaigned and everything, not knowing, I'm sorry to say, that he was a big mole in a party of that status.
Okay.
By the time the party now kicked him out, within a few days, he went to shake hands with Aso Rock. He went for photo ops with Aso Rock. So how are you people going to deal with
betrayal? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I hope you got some of those questions. They were mostly comments, and this was a question. And then the question from Mr. Samuel was, what are there structures put in place to measure against the strength of the opponents at the grassroots? So if you can just take all those along with your closing comments, what are some of the parting words you would like to leave us with? We'll take some announcements and have Mr. President come back to close. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me quickly go through this concerning my Professor Graham's comments. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jumoke. Let me take this. Let me say this. Local government issue is to serve the people, not an individual. I would ensure that we have that, irrespective of the political party that person belongs to, if you are the senator or whatever, that we all work together. I told my people, I told the people at the grassroots, I said something to them. I'm coming in not as NDC candidates. I'm coming to serve my people, and it is going to be a representation for all, not for a party. Because I'm responsible for everybody, not only my party. And I expect others to take cue from this, that it is not about an individual, it is not about your party alone. You should be able to cut across every one of us should work together to ensure that we have a better constituency, a better Etiosa that the people deserve, with everything, infrastructure, education, healthcare, and everything. The youth of the road, the unemployed youth being taken care of. Fortunately, my NGO was given, has what was given to us from an international NGO for free education for 2,000 people. And this is going to go, unfortunately, to my constituency, so that everyone will have free education. And these are things that I've put in place even before now. So this is what I've been working, and I would ensure that I have good relationship for us to rub minds and do the right thing together. So by the grace of God Almighty, I will work with everybody, whether the local government, whether the senatorial candidates, whether even the governor will be involved, because without the governor, some things that we might need that will involve having the governor's permit and so on, I will see how I can push, and including the State House of Assembly, whoever is representing, by the grace of God. But I'm hoping that we'll have a formidable team in terms of us pushing and doing the right thing for the people. That is it. Number two, the issue of societal vices. Unfortunately, it's a plague that is eating like a cankerworm in our society right now. But like what we're having is in this country, unfortunately, I'm sorry, men, I might offend you, is that we have a lot of men that destroy young female and their lives by giving them peanuts instead of encouraging them, and they do have children. But we're going to ensure that we get them off the streets. We encourage them. We will give them self-worth, because what is happening is that when you have what we call self-worth, there's something you will not do. That money you get, which is a temporary relief, will not cure the disease when you get it. And so we're going to enlighten our young ones that being confident in themselves, being able to work and earn their living will help better. You see, we already have, it's not even, this one is beyond an individual thing. It's ensuring that, like education, skill training, you understand, flexible school, like going to open university and so on. We encourage all this. And the sex education for them to make sure that they protect themselves, some mental health. And a lot of these children, unfortunately, a lot of these youths, some of them are involved in drugs, so they've lost their sense of reasoning in terms of their self-worth. So all these things, we can have counseling units where people would mentor them, mentoring clinics, or you understand, for them. And also family reintegration, because in most cases, I discovered that most of these girls come from villages and come into Lagos for survival. A lot of them don't have families, and even the ones that have families, maybe they don't listen. But at the end of the day, God will help us to put our girls in check, so that they would have what we call self-awareness. You understand? When we have people that can mentor them, when we have programs to encourage them, and those programs will not only encourage them, will give them hope in making themselves useful to themselves and the society. I hope that answers the question. Then the issue of dealing with betrayal. Dealing with betrayal. Thank you for asking me. I've seen that several times. In Labour Party, for example, that is something, propaganda and betrayal is something you can't take off, but you can guide against it, in the sense that betrayal in politics is not a matter of, it is a matter of when and how. I told my people, as much as we want to believe everybody coming, we will sleep with one eye closed and one eye open. I think that sums it. So we're going to be very careful. We're not going to take anything for granted, because I have experienced it as the leader of Labour Party. So we're putting things in check, because we know that politics without betrayal, then you've not started. I have forgiven them, but I have not forgotten. Well, the most important thing is for us to stay focused on our mission and make sure that we don't to take over whatever we're doing. So everybody will be alert in terms of watching and being our brother's keeper, to ensure that this time around, even the betrayers, before they say they want to do something, somebody will fish them out. And that is it. So we also want to ensure that we have a seamless listing. We are going to build a system that is dependable in terms of getting information and feeling who is who and doing the normal checks that we should. So, but we have a lot of things in our kitty, and we intend to carry it out to ensure that we win the election. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I bring Pastor Itwa up to close the session, what would be the parting words you would leave us this evening?
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, my people. I'm very grateful. Let me conclude by saying this Nigeria does not lack people with ideas. We have enough people that have capability to do the right thing, to have idea, people who are determined to make sure that Nigeria becomes a better haven for all of us. Apart from being the NDC leader, but as the candidate of Etiosa, we must build a movement for women, for the young, and people at the grassroots, and not merely use them during election, but to make sure that we impact their lives and they see that genuinely we are working for them to ensure that they have a better kind of this thing. I want a better kind of lifestyle, a Nigerian that suits each and every one of us. I want to say to everybody, let us build a Nigeria that we can trust. And just like some people ask, a coalition that Nigerians can believe in. We're going to root for it, and by the grace of God, we will get there. Thank you. And I say, God bless you. For Etiosa, Otisheshe, a new Etiosa is possible by His grace. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Please remember, vote for competence, because your daughter Adedayo, Akin-Taylor, is here to deliver, not for the title. Thank you. Thank you. And I promise that I might not promise perfection, but I promise my presence. I promise that it will be a partnership thing, and I will be accountable to the people. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you so much. That last word was campaign. So thank you. We're glad we could have you here. Mr. President, if I could just take a couple of announcements and then hand over to you, would that be okay?
That's fine. No problem.
Okay. So I just wanted to also let everyone know that here at Tri-Africa Empowerment Foundation, we have a matriarch circle, and it's an intergenerational group of women that are mentoring and supporting each other to advance their vision and to stand strong. And I also want to appeal to women to support each other and to also encourage women not to fall into the hands of name calling or labeling. Who you are, your status does not define you as a person. It's your competence, your capability, and what you have to serve is what gives you that audacity and boldness to step forward. And I also want to state that Pastor Adedayo is not on the platform because she's my sister. She came here because she's a woman warrior that is running for political office, and I think that's what we women should be able to stand up put our heart in the ring and see where it leads us, and for men and women to continue to support everyone as they put their heart in the ring to lead the country. So we thank you all for joining us this evening. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. What can I say? Dayo for president. Dayo for president. Dayo for president. Dayo for president. Dayo for president.
Yes,
Jumoke for chief of staff. Jumoke for chief of staff. Jumoke for chief of staff. We thank God. Well done, my dear. Well
thank you,
done. Well done.
everybody.
We were very
Thank you, sir.
motivated by what you
Thank
said,
you,
and we
sir.
like your candor, your truth, your passion, your
Thanks.
interest, and the
Thank you, sir.
pedigree that you represent. So
Thank you,
we're
sir.
praying for you. Olu Victor, so I could not fair position. No. Boye ma fi ṣe kí lẹ ma fi ṣe driver campaign boss. Olu Victor for driver. Olu Victor, okay, for deputy chief of staff. Ale follow Victor, not síbẹ̀, generally. Amen. So
I
Dayo,
thought
I've
so.
said before you a goal. Before you are 70, you should try and see how you are going to run for presidency and show us that a woman can do it also. Then I'll become pastor of president. That's my own personal ambition there. So I'm over to only also rock so what is the
We'll get
president.
there.
We thank God. God will bless you. God will look after you. God will strengthen you. God will be there for you. God will encourage you. And
Amen.
God will make lines
Amen.
fall in pleasant places for you, your family, your husband. I mean,
Amen.
I want
Amen.
to appreciate him
Amen.
publicly for his sacrifice. It's not been easy for him to support you. I know from time to time you've had to spend some of
Amen.
his money here and there. He's had to be without food and his wife for nights and so on and so forth. I know it's been tough on him, but somehow or the other, you are still standing because he's still supporting you. I want to ask him, please,
Thank
to
you, sir.
continue to support you, to continue to encourage you, to continue to make his resources, his love, and his time available for you. And the Lord
Thank
himself
you,
will
sir.
honor him very,
Amen.
very much in
Amen.
Jesus' name.
Amen.
And
Amen.
then may God make everything perfect for your family and also your
Amen.
children. The sacrifices they've had to take also, missing one or two school occasions, this and that, pulling you here and there. The Lord will bless you all and encourage you all and keep everybody safe and sound in Jesus' name. And all those your secret prayers, may God
Amen.
answer them for you. I want to appeal to the women in
Amen.
Nigeria. Don't be frightened. Don't be discouraged. Don't be fearful. Know that what a man can do, most women can honestly do better. Some of the greatest leaders in the world, Golda Meir, the lady Bhutto, the lady in Germany, they've been fantastic leaders and they've done very well for their country. Even in the Bible, you've had Deborah and Esther and all manners of women who really led a great attack. Even in our cultural history, Moremi has been extremely powerful. You've had others, Queen Amina of Zazao, and so on and so forth. So we're waiting for you women. We're not intimidated. We just want Nigeria to be great again. So you all come out and fight for your own right, fight for good leadership, fight for good governance, fight for a great Nigeria where we all will be happy. God bless you all. Thank you so much again for being on the platform this Thursday from wherever you are in the world. And thank you for being part of our dream to make Nigeria great again. See you same time next week by His grace and by His mercy. And may God keep us till then and much more beyond then to see a great Africa. God bless you all. Have
Thank
a
you, sir.
nice
God
evening
bless
and a
you.
great weekend.
Thank you. God bless
God
you,
bless you, my
everybody.
God
president.
bless
God
you.
bless you. I appreciate you. Bye, Pastor.